Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Socratic Cinema podcast. My name is James Delicio.
I'm Haleigh Phillips.
I'm Charlie Heatherly.
And I'm Kasey Clark.
And this week we're going to be talking about the first two episodes of the Disney Plus original series, The Mandalorian.
Woo!
Yeah!
Spoiler alert, this is one of the few episodes where that actually applies
Yeah.
appropriately.
Because these episodes are pretty new, and we're going to be talking about all parts of them, so if you haven't seen them yet, don't listen. Or go watch them and then listen.
Yeah.
That's better.
But before we dive into the analysis and discussion, we would like to thank Mr. A.N.B. That's A is in apple, N is in nickel, B is in banana, who sent us, he went out of his way to make us an intro for our channel, and we are so very grateful. It was completely unprompted, and we're very, very thankful, and we'll be using it in all of our videos from now on. So once again, we'd like to thank A and B. His Instagram is at anb.guy. If you guys want to go check him out, he does some really great work. He's, I think, an animation student or digital media, and we're just really thankful for him. So shout out to A and B. And with that out of the way,
Woo!
let's get right into The Mandalorian. Yeah. I've been excited for a long time for this one.
It's the one show that my phone does not know how to spell. I've been trying to text people The Mandalorian, and no matter how I spell it, it says I'm wrong.
I don't know.
I'm very self-conscious now about it.
Yeah, I just don't know how to spell it.
Mandol.
Yeah.
No, A? Is it A?
Mandalorian or Mandalorian?
It's Mandalorian.
Because he called the Whiskers dudes call him Mando. So it's
So it isn't
that's-
A.
But they're from the planet Mandalore.
Shut up.
So I don't know.
That's enough. If you know, comment down
Please
below.
comment how we... I guess we're going to have to figure it out before we title the video.
No, we won't.
Spell it
No,
wrong.
we won't.
We'll put
The Mandam.
We'll put MANDO/A.
Yeah.
Lorian.
You figure out the rest.
This show was, it's a Dave Filoni Star Wars show. He's the guy who did Clone Wars and Rebels. But Clone Wars...
Not Rebels.
we don't talk about
Much
Rebels.
better Clone Wars.
But Clone Wars, so I was really excited. I didn't know that. So when I saw Dave Filoni pop up in the credits after the first episode, I got really excited. Because the Clone Wars was really good. Mm-hmm. And he knows how to write his Star Wars stuff. But
It's true.
what did you guys think? Do you like it? Do you hate it?
As a whole so far, or are we doing
All 70 minutes of it.
all 70 minutes? I liked all 70 minutes, and I thought that it took what really makes Star Wars, which at the end of the day is sort of campy in a way, and sort of like this fun, childish, like, wonder about the world, and it took that, and it really condensed that down into a slick series where I'm really invested in all the characters. There's been some funny moments, good action, all around, just a really, really solid show.
Oh yeah, I really enjoyed it. What I enjoyed the most is its development on most like the classic Star Wars tropes. Like everything about it is just bringing me back to the original series, which I really like, especially in this age of like we're seeing all the new Force Awakens, this whole new era of Star Wars. It's good to kind of bring it back a little bit.
Yeah.
And see that fun development.
Yeah, I completely agree. The world building that it's doing within like 2 episodes, 70 minutes is amazing. Like you see different creatures that you haven't seen, like blurgs or whatever, the weird lizard things. And then you also just... I personally like the cantina scenes because, like Haleigh, it definitely took me back to the original Star Wars, like that feeling of like, we're in Gangsterville now.
Yeah.
I know, it was a hardcore opener.
Yo!
It was. It's a little out of tone with the rest of the show, but I don't care because I thought the opener was awesome.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the opening scene of the show. I thought was a good... it was really good at it was a good hook for the series because, at least for me, it kind of took me on an emotional journey as I went through that opening scene because I really didn't know anything about the show going in, but it kind of, the opening scene is basically, has the Mandalorian go into a bar and there's this guy being hassled and he kills, the bullies. But then, in a twist, it turns out that the guy who was being harassed actually has a big bounty on his head, so the Mandalorian takes him back and freezes him in carbonite. And it's a wild intro. But it kind of, specifically the cantina scene is what I'm talking about. It really took me for a whirl, because when I saw the Mandalorian come in and beat the bullies up, I was like, oh, cool, so this is a show about, like, an anti-hero who's, like, a good guy, but he kind of, you know, like the Punisher, like, he does, but then, when he turns around and locks up the other guy, I was like, whoa, so this guy has no moral, like, I thought it did a good job of setting up that, like, the Mandalorian's, he's on no one's side, you know, he's alone, you know, he's a renegade, and it just, I don't know why it worked so well for me, but I think it's because the scene leads you to believe that the Mandalorian's an upright guy, but then he's not. I thought that was really cool. Yeah. I don't know, I'm kind of rambling.
It was super reminiscent of old westerns, especially with the awesome title music, which is some of my favorite Star Wars music.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
It just has like that twang that I really like, and
it sounds like the good, the bad, and the ugly, like the whistle
exactly.
thing,
and that bar scene is like, you've seen that scene like a million times before in different movies, right? And shows and whatnot. But they did it really well here, and they grounded it very well in sort of the Star Wars canon. Yeah. And they made sure that, you know, just with little things like how the bullies called the Mandalorian Mando or things like that, that there's a world that you're entering, and you sort of need to be willing to just let yourself be encompassed by all of this culture that's going around. Because there was a lot of things in the show where they mentioned it and I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
But the first episode really conditions you to accept that. It's like, again, when he goes to the desert planet, which I'm not sure if it's Tatooine or not. But he goes to the desert planet, and then the dude that's like, I have spoken, you know, that weird mustache, Oompa Loompa looking guy, he's like, you should be riding these blurgs, because your ancestors rode the flamadors, or whatever the crazy Mandalorian creatures were. And I was like, I don't know what that means, but cool, right?
Well, yeah, and that's what I was talking about, like the development of all these characters that we know. Like these alien races that, oh yes, of course, the Mandalorians. But it's like, oh, now we're seeing another side to them.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
I agree. There's a lot of stuff that it just kind of drops, and I think that's a sign of good world building. Like, you don't have to explain everything.
Yeah, it's not concerned with you getting it. It's just concerned with you feeling what it's like to live in the world.
Yeah, I remember being confused about the Beskar steel plate that he gives. Like, the Mandalorian is like a down payment and just gets this kind of chunk of metal, and I was like, oh, is this like some kind of credit? But then he goes to a forge and melts it down and forges armor out of it. And I was like, oh, I would have never expected that that's what that's for. I didn't put it together, and I think that's really cool. Like, it's just, I don't know, it's a sign of a really well thought out world.
Oh, and especially like the symbolism behind the Beskar too. Like, his family was in the Purge where that was taken from them, from the Empire. So he was using that armor, and his broken past is like armor in his present. So.
I don't know much about the backstory of the Mandalorian.
Yes.
I
got you there.
I might have missed a couple lines of dialogue that were key.
And the really cool thing about the Beskar steel, which I hope they incorporate, is that it's said to be strong enough to block lightsabers.
Oh yeah.
So I'm waiting for some Jedi action going on.
Let's get it.
And then he's like, my shoulder plate will stop you.
Yeah, I hope it's kind of like almost like do you remember the Bionicles, where like each where each one would come with another piece of armor? Yeah. I really hope like over the season we just see him get like more and more plates.
That would be awesome.
You know, because it's like a good way to track his progress.
That's what I think is going to actually be like the season finale. Is that he's going to get all of his stuff, and either it's going to end there, and he'll be ready to go on like a war at some like big villain that's threatening Baby Yoda, or it will be. The series will be him just slowly collecting these pieces, and each one of them has some sort of significant meaning, and he learns a lesson through each one of them.
That would be good. Yeah.
I feel like that's an easy story to take, and it would be interesting, but this show it's really come out with some surprises that I didn't know it would have, so I don't know what to predict.
Yeah, and that whole kind of like treasure hunt story structure, yeah, like you were saying, it's an easy story to tell, but it works. Like,
for sure, yeah.
It's I see that kind of thing mainly in like video games, where it's like, oh, you have to find the 3 sacred whatevers, and it's like, okay, cool. It's a very good way of like, here's what you need to do. It keeps the plot moving. So I think that might be a good approach to take. I kind of hope the whole season is just about almost like kind of the Last of Us, Mandalorian, and Baby Yoda versus the world.
Yes.
Yeah, what do we think he's going to do with Baby Yoda? Do we really think he's going to...
He's not going to turn him in.
I really hope that he keeps Baby Yoda,
Me
because
too.
I'm a sucker for the kind of like ragtag like father and son dynamic, like or father and child, like God of War, the Last of Us.
Yeah.
I'm only naming video games because that's all it's coming to.
And it's appropriate because I was watching the show, and the sequence at the end of the first episode where it's the shootout at Baby Yoda's like hideout, and where all the guys are coming at him, that's super video gamey, right? Like the dude comes up with a giant machine gun, and then you gotta kill him,
and then you use the machine gun.
Yeah.
And then...
Death Stranding has the father-son thing. I've been thinking a lot about Death Stranding.
Yeah, prepare for like 50 references. He's gonna make a whole bunch of them. I don't know anything about Death Stranding.
Delivery Man walks for 15 hours is the game. But
very good.
Yeah, gosh, I just care so much about Baby Yoda already.
Oh,
his design,
he's soft.
It's just his design and his little cutie, like
his little walk and everything.
It just makes you care about him so much. And I don't feel so strongly about stuff very much. It's been a very emotional weekend for me. I was like watching episode 2, and the whole episode I was like, I hope nothing bad happens to Baby Yoda.
Yes.
I really was like actively thinking that, and I think that's a sign of really, really good like storytelling.
They didn't even have to do anything for you to feel that way. He's just so cute.
It's 2 episodes, and I would die for Baby Yoda.
I would too.
Yes, he's just like a friar.
I want the Mandalorian to protect him and like tough love, and then he'll like grow a little. He has a soft spot for Baby Yoda, and it's so cute. He's just so.
I know. It's
cute.
like, is it weird that I'm thinking Baby Yoda is cute right now?
No,
Like, that's just wrong.
It's adorable.
I wonder what Baby Yoda was trying to. So there's a scene where like the Mandalorian has like that cut on his arm, and Baby Yoda's like trying to help, but it's like what was he gonna do? Do Yodas have? That's not their name. The Yodis people, do they have like healing power, or was Baby Yoda just like trying to be compassionate? I don't really know.
I think that's what they were hinting at.
I think it was more of a Force thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure. It's like, is he gonna heal it with the Force, or does he just care?
I don't know how you would heal it with the Force is the thing, though, because I'm pretty sure that's what they were going at.
Yeah.
I don't know, they had a new Force power every movie. They would have found something.
Yeah, so does that mean Baby Yoda is a Jedi, or is their species naturally Force sensitive?
That's the question I was having, because I was like, is it Force sensitive, or is this like...
I don't want it to be a Jedi, though. The thing is, like...
Why?
Well, it has the Force, obviously.
Well, yeah, it has the Force, so...
I want it to be a Sith.
I like Yoda. I think it was... I am glad that they gave Baby Yoda the Force in a way. Like, that was a cool scene, seeing Baby Yoda save the Mandalorian from that big rhino monster. Mm-hmm. I think that might be the same monster that was in the... Or the same type of monster that was in the... No, never mind. It wasn't. I was gonna say, it looks kind of like the thing from episode 2 in the arena.
Yes, in the arena.
It looks kind of like that,
okay.
but I don't think they're the same.
What I wanted that thing to be, and I think they missed an opportunity just a little bit, is I wanted it to be a Rancor.
That would have been neat.
I think it would have been way cooler if it was a Rancor, and I thought it was for like a quick second. I was like, this is gonna be awesome, it's gonna be so cool. And then it was a weird, like, furry rhino.
With the furry egg that was just
furry
weird.
egg.
That was
Yes.
Zaka.
Yeah. But I'm glad they gave Baby Yoda the Force. That was a cool scene, seeing Baby Yoda like save the Mandalorian. Because like Baby Yoda had to bring something to the table eventually.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean
He's
that.
a baby. He's useless until he
I
saves
mean that. I
someone.
mean that in like a
story.
Yeah. Like there's got to be something that makes the baby so valuable, and it's that he uses the Force. The baby had a huge bounty on his head. He's hiding something, and it was the Force.
Well, the question is, why did those random bandits like have him there?
I think they might have like, maybe it was like a temporary thing. Like they were just hanging on to him there, and they're gonna transport him. I don't know if they explain it. I don't know if they really need to explain it.
I think they're going to. I think there has to be a reason why Yoda was there, or Baby Yoda was there. Mm-hmm. And there's going to be a reason why he's so valuable. A lot of people think that he's a clone, because the people that send the Mandalorian out to go and get him, the doctor, you know, that nerdy one that comes in, he has a Camino badge on his arm.
Right.
Oh,
That's crazy.
Okay.
But then did they lose the clone?
But how would you...
Yoda, or-
How did they clone Yoda?
when he Force ghosted?
I think it might
He was
just,
alive at the time that Camino was a thing. They could have taken DNA.
Oh, you're right.
I think it might just be as simple as like the Empire's gone and Luke's kind of chilling on that planet. So I think the thing might just be like there's no Jedi, and this is a Force-sensitive thing, so, like, it's valuable. But I don't know. There's a lot of directions they could go. I was going somewhere.
Figure it out.
I like that Baby Yoda uses the Force in some sense, but I also don't want it. I don't want the show to turn into a Jedi Sith kind of thing. Because I'm kind of in Jedi fatigue with all the mainline movies. Like, that's why I liked Rogue One so much, because it's Star Wars, but with a new angle that we don't get to see as much.
That's fair. I think it could be interesting if they play it, instead of a Jedi angle, they do like a rogue Jedi angle, where he sort of becomes the Mandalorian a bit in his sensibilities.
Yeah.
Except maybe like a little bit more like peaceful and passive.
I don't know if we're going to follow Baby Yoda long enough to see him grow up is the only thing.
Oh,
because he's already 50.
He's already 50.
That's
Yeah.
going to take a long time.
Oh, but gosh, I feel like we should clarify that this is not actually Yoda as an infant. This is a Yoda species that is a baby.
Wait, let me look up the name.
The thing, that's one of my only gripes with the show is that no one has a name in this show.
Oh, yeah.
It's the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda. That blue guy at the very beginning had a name, and then he died. The droid had a name, IG-11, and then he died.
Okay. What? Well, there's Yaddle.
Yaddle is the Yoda with hair. I remember that.
He's the hippie Yoda. They say it's the same mysterious species. It's unknown what species they are.
Great.
Which logically does not make sense.
There's multiple.
Maybe they're going to try and define that in this. Maybe they're going to, finally get
Could
answers.
be cool. Henceforth, though, Baby Yoda is his name.
Baby Yoda.
Or Baby Yaddle. I will accept
Baby
either.
Yaddle.
We'll just have to see how much hair he
But
grows.
Yaddle?
Yeah.
How much hair he grows.
Yeah,
No, do you know what freaked me out about Baby Yoda? He, sucked up that weird lizard rat
the
thing.
frog?
It was, twice his
the
size.
frog. Yeah, his stomach is his body. It's insane.
Yeah.
Mysterious indeed, I would say. That thing's creepy.
Yoda is cool. I like the...
Yoda will eat the Mandalorian.
Honestly.
I really,
Third episode, mid-season finale, he just eats the Mandalorian.
Okay, wait. Hot take. I kind of think mid-season finales are a little bit dumb. Just a little bit. I think you can have many story arcs in a season, but you don't have to call it the mid-season finale. Then that kind of just takes away the hype
Which
from the
mid-season
season
finale hurt you, James?
The Gravity Falls
Poison
season 2.
Jay.
That young me was so mad when I had to wait 4 weeks in the middle of a season.
Okay, I feel your
what's
pain.
wrong
Oh,
with
yeah.
I feel
you can have multiple story arcs in a season without making an event out of it. It's just let the show keep going.
Let the show.
You're gonna make me lose interest if you make me wait. That's what happened with so many things that just get year-long delays.
Yeah, that was the crazy thing as a child, is I would be totally into a show, and then it wouldn't come on for a month, and then I'd be like, oh, it's dead, and I would never watch it
I
again.
guess it got canceled. It's
Yeah.
no, we're on the mid-season break. It's next they're gonna have the every other episode break.
I don't think
Quarterly break.
I don't think they're gonna do that with Mandalorian, just because the consumption of streaming service shows is usually binge, and
Yeah.
because they're not doing binge on this, they're doing the next best thing, which is weekly.
It is weekly?
It's weekly.
Okay, what day of the week?
I don't know. I was just told that it was weekly, and I
Whatever
looked it up, and it
Disney
said it was
feels like.
weekly after these first 2 episodes.
Let's inform our...
Because
We'll
I'm pretty
figure it
sure
out
a
and let
week
you know.
didn't pass between episode 1 and episode
No, it
2.
did not. They wanted to put those out to capitalize on the hype of the show. I think they should have put all the episodes out at once, because that's how I like watching TV when it's on a streaming service.
I think I wouldn't have been able to. It would have been gone too soon.
Would have been gone too soon.
I think this is and also if I have to binge watch something, the chances I'm not gonna have the time to end up finishing it ever. That's kind of what happened with Breaking Bad. I got halfway through season 2, and then it's I just don't have the time to keep chugging through this. But when you get it weekly, it's I just have to set aside 40 minutes a week, and I'm not falling behind.
You can make Breaking Bad weekly.
That's true, but but the thing is when the whole show's not out yet, it's kind of it's not I have anything I need to catch up on. It's I just need to all I need to stay committed and on top of this show is 40 minutes a week. That's so doable. I don't know. I feel like it's less of a commitment than trying to binge watch a 5-season show.
Fair enough. And then how you figured
Also,
out?
just in from our research team, it's Friday, so...
Friday.
Oh,
Friday.
Friday.
That's
that'll be
good.
good.
Our IT guy off screen pulled that up.
Yeah.
Jimmy?
Jimmy,
Jamie.
alright.
Jamie.
Jamie.
It's the same one from the Joe Rogan show.
Oh, uh-huh.
Yeah, we got him.
Because we have the money to do that.
Yeah, we're gonna be like,
Our non-existent Patreon.
we're gonna be like, Jamie, pull that up, and then he'll pull it up.
Oh, the stormtroopers. Personally, I thought they were freaky. Like,
I think they're just dudes in stormtrooper armor. If I'm gonna be real.
yeah,
They're messy dudes.
they are like their
What?
mannerisms.
Why haven't they cleaned themselves up? Why are they so dirty?
They were kind of creepy, but I think they might just be like.
I think
Hired-
they're just stormtroopers.
But the Empire's gone. This is post episode 6.
Yeah, but
But they're still stormtroopers.
Yeah,
they're
I-
still
they're just like
hot.
finding work now.
yeah, like
Finding
they,
It's the underground.
like they
Yeah.
they fled the Empire, and I'm pretty sure that guy who gave the Mandalorian the Beskar steel, he's Empire or
ex-Empire.
Ex-Empire.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like an underground.
We're like in the
rising.
Reconstruction era. Of
The
Star Wars,
Reconstruction.
kinda.
Oh my no.
Don't bring a push into this,
But-
please.
But like, yeah, so I guess they're not technically like Empire affiliated anymore. They're just like we're hired we're guys with guns and stormtrooper armor. I guess
Yeah, they're just cosplaying as their
as
their own work.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you think stormtroopers are popular with the ladies? Do you think they do
They're
it for
amazing.
attention?
It's probably like as popular as any given veteran is.
Oh,
But they were on the bad side.
yeah, they were on.
If
So I
you
guess
think
it's
about
It's like being a
hold
Nazi
on,
veteran.
Hold on. Well, yeah, kinda. I mean, the
They're
Empire was.
It's clear that the Empire's like based off the Nazis.
It was.
Yeah.
It wasn't, and
They're
especially the
stormtroopers.
First Order is super Nazi.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't understand. No, that's actually a weird thing to think about because no one really thinks of like the First Order or the Empire as like that bad. Like everyone's like, yeah, Darth Vader's cool. You know, all these guys are great. Meanwhile, they're sort of leading massive extinction level. You know,
On the other hand,
things. Oh god.
on the other hand,
He's like,
to take the
Thanos
devil's
was right, and also
to take the devil's advocate side here, I mean, that I guess I always kind of forget that like the Empire and all that was just like the government back then. You know, like I always forget that they were technically the rightfully ruling body at the time. Well, I guess Palpatine.
after
kinda,
they killed everyone
I guess.
that like
yeah, you know,
opposed them.
but I mean, Palpatine just kind of took over, and then it was like, I don't know, Oliver Cromwell or something. I just kind of like,
It's almost like how Hitler rose to power.
Yeah.
kinda, but like,
Sort of makes them even more Nazi. Like,
picture
Yeah,
this:
you know.
you are the government. You are
Okay.
making this cool new big satellite called the Death.
a death satellite.
Hold on, wait. Listen to this. All right, listen to this.
Yeah, go ahead.
And within the Death Star, you hire a bunch of government workers.
Hardworking individuals.
You hire a bunch of hardworking individuals to get this thing off. There's
that you clone.
hundreds of... No. Kasey, if you knew anything about the Star Wars lore, you'd know that they stopped producing clones in between episodes 3 and 4, and that most of the Empire's employees are just dudes.
That
Pushes
they
up his
kidnap-
glasses
Or
after saying that.
dudettes. So... check yourself next time. So, there are plumbers working there. There are construction workers. There are honest men doing honest work for the government. It's like,
For the Nazis.
Yeah.
Kasey, it's like saying that the garbage man in Nazi Germany is a Nazi. He's not.
I mean,
They're
They
soldiers,
made it
James.
I'm not
identified
soldiers. Look,
as
no, you're not
Nazis.
listening to me.
Every one of the
Are
Death
you
Star was.
justifying their
No,
work?
they weren't. The
Nazis.
Death Star plumbers were not Nazis. And then
Well, what?
wait, consider, and you're the Empire, and you've got this big satellite, and it's like the Commonwealth. It's a big public
many
improvement
the point
English
of their
terms.
satellite was to blow up a planet.
And then these little hippies who believe in magic come in and blow up your like.
But
Okay,
James, so
maybe
you're
James.
saying that the garbage men that are being paid with Nazi gold, that was Jewish gold that they stole from Jewish people, are not contributing.
I'm not talking about Nazis. I'm talking about stormtroopers.
He's talking about the space Nazis, Kasey.
This face.
Guys,
You know, this
fiction
is-
and reality are really different.
This is
things at the end of the
appropriate
day.
because we were going to talk about Jojo Rabbit, so
Honestly.
at least we're getting
We
similar
circled
themes.
and then
back.
somebody decided not to see it.
Ooh, Casey.
Really?
You're
I feel like
getting
I'm gonna
roasted.
Dang,
win.
just called her out.
Get out of here, Kasey.
Fight,
Dang.
fight.
Back to
My bad.
The winner stays on the podcast.
I'm pretty sure that
To
by
the
the
death.
time, in the actual audio file, the last 3 minutes are just going to be unintelligible. It's just going to be like, peaked all the way, and you're just gonna hear like fuzzy noise.
It'll be fine. We'll be all good. We'll make sure to leave in your good points. Wait.
So that was,
Okay.
So that was
The reason
I
why
have to quote the whole
the
time.
rebels attacked the Death Star, it has death in the name, number one, and it blew up the planet of their leader, number two.
I'm not
An
a.
innocent planet of people, it blew up,
I'm not a Nazi.
and the
I just want to.
and
throw
the
that out.
rebels came in, and they're like, okay, maybe it wasn't such a cool thing that they now have this death ball floating in the space sky that can probably go anywhere and explode anything.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe let's kill the death ball.
Yeah, I know you're right. Like, by the way, I was just seeing how far I could take it.
Yeah, but they did it not once, but,
But twice.
twice.
No, 3 times at
Three
this point.
times.
They
to
thought the
same
death ball
group of
would
people.
Reich. The
Oh.
new
The
order is the
The
third.
Reich.
The new order is the Third Reich. That's nuts. This isn't even about the Mandalorian remotely anymore.
It's about Star Wars. It's fine.
Back to the Mandalorian.
Last Jedi was a good movie. Changed my mind.
Oh boy.
Back to the Mandalorian.
Anyways.
Back to
Kill him in
mid-season
the
finales.
No.
Back to mid-season finales. Back to the Mandalorian.
Have we talked about the second episode that much with Jawas? I want to talk about the
Oh,
Jawas.
Jawas.
I like that they
Loved
have
it.
Jawas.
Can we talk about the practical effects that
I was-
they have in the show?
I was about to
Transition.
I was about to bring that.
Good.
I was about to bring that up. I was about to talk about practical effects too. I like it. I like practical.
They
got-
brought back the circle white.
They brought back the Circle
Yes!
Light, which is really Star.
Yeah.
They brought back a lot of classic things. They brought back
I
puppets.
loved it.
They brought back the Circle Wipe. They brought back, I think, the way that they made the Jawas with the dark
The eyes.
masks
that
and
was-
eyes.
I was like, yes.
The only thing is, like, sometimes the clash between... Because there is some CG. Sometimes the clash between CG and real, when they're in the same scene together, is a little weird. Like, the I Have Spoken guy is real, but then the lizard things are CG. And sometimes it just, like, looks a little weird.
Yeah, you can like see the cuts when it's like shifts from
Yeah, and it's
the...
like, ooh.
I was fine with it. The one thing that stood out to me, it's a very specific scene. They have a practical, like, eye robot that's guarding a door. Like,
Yeah.
the Mandalorian in the first
Yeah.
episode is going to open a door, and this eye robot comes through the hole. And you could just see the guy that's puppeting it is, like, shaking his hands. He had, like, too much coffee in the morning or something. And it just really, like, it pulled me out of it for a second. I was like...
See, I didn't notice that. I think the one thing that, like, hammered in that it was practical to me is it looks like it's on location, like on Tatooine. It doesn't look like there's that much green screen.
Well, is it Tatooine?
I mean, there were
think so, 'cause
Jawas.
the
Yeah, they're
Jawas.
Jawas. I'm gonna
So-
go ahead and call it.
But are Jawas only on Tatooine?
What's the biodiversity of Tatooine?
Haleigh,
Are
you're an
Jawas-
ape, so you can figure this
Jawas-
out.
Oh,
Are
gosh.
Jawas native to Tatooine? Is that...
Jamie, pull it up.
Jamie, get on that.
What kind of pushed me towards thinking it was Tatooine when he's coming up on Whisker's house, and it's a very like
His name's Whisker.
no, I just call him Whiskers.
Oh, okay.
That's the name.
Well, I guess we would have
Like
Kasey
the
has
seen...
named
pan.
him.
I feel like we would have seen the two suns by now if it was Tatooine.
You're right.
Maybe.
But
Maybe
I feel
they're
like
just
that's
trying-
too on the nose.
Yeah.
Like that'll pull you out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't remember seeing two suns, so maybe it's... What was that one in,
It says they're only on Tatooine, the Jawas.
Oh, so it is Tatooine.
Yeah.
This is from the StarWars.com website.
What about that one...
Thank you, Jamie.
But we don't see... Thank you,
you,
Jamie. but we don't see the two suns yet.
I think doing the two suns, like you said, would have just pulled you out of it.
Casey said that.
Oh. Sorry, I credited
No, I
the
think-
point
We're
to
the same
James.
person.
Sorry, I shouldn't have expected that.
Yeah, I, no,
Jesus Christ. I've never seen... Wow, okay, go on, yeah.
I don't think it would have... I don't know if it would have pulled me out. It would have made it confirmed that we were on Tatooine, I guess.
I mean, I would be passive towards it. I don't care
Yeah, I
that it's
would.
not there, and I don't care that it would be there.
Yeah, it's
Like,
not a big deal. I just want to know where we are.
it doesn't have a lot of symbolism in the Mandalorian's case. Like, the reason why it's so great in Star Wars is because it's a bookend to Luke's story. It ends his story and it begins his story, the two sons. Not necessarily on Tatooine, but just the two sons motif, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it's such a beautiful scene in the first movie because it represents all these things. And I don't think it necessarily, or the same emotions would have necessarily carried over.
Yeah,
I agree.
It would be like a visual motif.
yeah, I don't think it's like Star Wars to axe part of their canon, though.
Well, they didn't necessarily axe part of the canon, they just didn't show it.
But we've had a lot of daytime scenes.
That's true. Yeah, no, there weren't a lot of nighttime Tatooine scenes, actually.
Maybe...
Oh, when he was rebuilding.
I feel like we just...
Oh, okay.
I guess my point is I feel like we would have definitely seen it. What was that one desert planet in episode 7 that she was on?
Jakku.
Jakku.
Maybe they're on Jakku.
No.
They're not. They're definitely not. Jakku's more like sandy. Tatooine's just kind of like...
Both of them are very sandy.
But Tatooine, when I think of Tatooine, I think more like...
It's less
Like,
sandy.
not Grand Canyon, but like... Kind of more like...
It has rugged terrain.
Like Utah, Arizona. Whereas for me, Jakku is a little more Sahara.
Okay.
All right.
You do you, James.
That's
Yeah.
just me at the end of the day.
I see what.
If there was one
I
thing
see
to
what
take
you're
away
saying.
from this episode, it would be the difference in sand between Jakku and Tatooine and how they relate to the Sahara.
Followed
Utah.
only second by a segment that's definitely getting cut out during the editing of this video.
I'm keeping it in. I'm going to save it on mine and I'll edit the video. It'll
You
be
can
good.
That
keep
could be
it
our behind the scenes
on-
thing.
Yeah, we always
Being
promise
loud.
behind. We always
I
behind the.
know.
We should make a Kasey's wow compilation.
Wow.
Like, who's the guy that says wow and it's like a
Oh,
meme?
wow.
David Spade.
Wow.
No, Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
Oh,
Owen Wilson.
yeah.
Both are blondes.
Wow.
I always mix up blondes.
You know who I always mix up Owen Wilson and Woody Harrelson.
Why?
I don't know.
One of them is Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson's real. Owen Wilson was Owen
It's
Wilson
real.
is real
Serious.
Oh.
is really cool.
fake.
Oh.
I cut my own sentences off.
Owen Wilson's a robot.
Part of the simulation.
Was Owen Wilson in Night at the Museum? Was he the cowboy?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Those
I thought
movies.
you were going to confuse Ben Stiller and Owen
I
Wilson.
know.
there.
Those
I was
movies,
concerned.
those movies were fresh.
Also, can we talk about how star-studded the Mandalorian cast is? Like, it's crazy.
Is it?
And
Yes.
most of them aren't even that emphasized. Like,
Taika Waititi was the droid.
was the droid.
bounty.
And he gets murdered pretty quickly. They might come back with another model
I
of
was
him.
sad that they murdered him.
I
I
was-
really wanted IG-11 to stay.
No.
No?
He was gonna
He was gonna
pop
kill Baby Yoda!
But I mean, I wish that I mean, what I wish is like I really liked the droid as a character, so I wish he would have
Oh, okay.
like stayed part of the core cast. So
Yeah.
like he
If he
doesn't,
didn't try and shoot Baby
yeah,
Yoda.
or like maybe the Mandalorian just like boots him down, and he has to like teach the droid that's like, no, we're not killing the baby.
Just
Also,
constantly
one thing I
pointing
want to
the
bring
gun.
up is like the violence in Mandalorian is very stark
It's
compared
very-
to the.
It's very
new-
violent.
Yeah, it is very violent. Like this isn't like Force Awakens or the.
No, it's like the original release of the
It is.
of the first movie.
Like in the very beginning, people were just getting murdered and eaten.
Cut in
Yeah, and they
half.
cut the
Cut
guy
in
in half with the
I was
door.
like, oh my
That was
gosh.
nuts.
awesome.
I was
Wait.
like, we're getting into it.
They changed the you talking about violence in the original movie.
Yeah.
Reminded Star Wars news. They changed the Han shot, the Han Greedo scene again with the
Oh,
Disney
yeah.
Plus release.
Who shot first
Really?
this time?
They both shoot at the same time, again, but this time they added in another clip of Greedo insulting Han right before they shoot.
It's fine that Han shot first. I don't understand why it's so bad that they had to change it. It makes sense in his character that he would shoot
They've
first.
changed it like 6 times, so now it's Greedo insults Han and then they shoot at the same time.
So Han has like a reason. He doesn't need a reason.
He's Han Solo.
He's
Han
That's
Solo.
that's his
Cowboy.
arc. That's his
Yeah.
arc. Yeah.
We all know Han Solo shoots first. Like,
He is cowboy.
he is cowboy.
I once got into a
Yeah.
huge month-long debate on who shot first that we put money on, and we each came up with our own evidence, and obviously each piece of evidence is equally valid because they're releases of the same movie, right? Just different things. It got heated. This is a topic that divides people, and I feel like it's a cowardly move to make them shoot at the same time.
I think that in the Blu-ray release they shot at the same time as well.
Cowards,
I don't
He's
know.
calling them out.
I don't know.
yellow bellies.
I don't know what was wrong with having Han shoot first.
Because they wanted to make Han seem more like the good guy. But he doesn't need to be the good guy, because that's the point, is that he's not a good guy, and then he turns into a good guy.
Exactly.
It's his redemption arc.
They're like, we need to sell more toys.
Do we think that the Mandalorian is gonna have a Han thing where he is like a hero by the end of it? Because I kind of want him to stay a hired gun.
I think, no, that's going to happen.
He's gonna turn into a
It
hero.
wouldn't feel satisfying if he doesn't learn anything.
Yeah, or maybe he can learn. Like, I feel like what's gonna happen is similar to with the Baby Yoda thing. I feel like after the whole Baby Yoda thing settles, he's gonna go back and we're just gonna see some hired gun work, and then maybe like the sort of season finale kind of story arc thing is like, he'll be put in another morally compromising mission.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Baby Yoda will come back or something, and he'll have to like pick the good side, kind of like with Solo. How they
Yes.
Don't bring this up
Solo.
with him.
Yeah, I like Solo.
Solo. Thank you. It's not that bad.
It wasn't that bad.
Haleigh thinks it's horrible. It's
I don't
not
think
that
it's
bad.
horrible. I didn't think it was great.
I can never predict what movies you guys aren't gonna like. Like I'm trying to find the common denominator.
James is like, you guys have taste and don't have taste at the same time. It's
I
confusing.
feel like it's mostly just you.
It's not even that, because like I know
like good movies.
Like I know a lot of people didn't like Solo, but like I just can't tell what your guys' reaction to movies is gonna be, so it always keeps it fresh.
Keeps it fresh.
I know. I still don't know why I have such negative reactions to half the movies I see, or positive reactions. Like, I still do think that Napoleon Dynamite is not the best comedy, and I would watch a million other things before I turn on Napoleon Dynamite
That's
again.
fair. It's not perfect. I respect that.
But like, I don't know. Movies are weird, man. That's our new tagline. Movies are weird, comma man.
Movies are weird, bro. Yeah, I don't know. I think 9 out of 10 movies that I watch I end up liking, and maybe I'm just a softie. Like,
What's the one movie
that I don't like?
Ooh.
My least favorite movie?
Yeah, what's your least favorite? This has been a pretty chill podcast, by the way, so we're sorry if you wanted like some super in-depth Mandalorian stuff.
Yeah, there's not that much Mandalorian info.
It's a good movie. Show.
Yeah, there's only 2 episodes,
Oh,
so
gosh.
it's not like Stranger Things where we had like 4-hour-long episodes to go with.
Oh my god.
This is like we have a 40-minute episode and a 30-minute episode for right now. We'll probably do more episodes on The Mandalorian
As more come out.
as it progresses.
You guys want us to I think this would be fun, and I'll just suggest it to you guys here too, and our viewers at the same time. If you guys want us to do a sort of live stream deal where we watch The Mandalorian and give our live thoughts as it's happening, then we'll totally do that, and that could be a fun watch-along thing.
Oh,
If
that
you guys are
yes.
interested.
that could be cool. Yeah.
So
I'd be game for that.
So comment if you want that, because
Or, anything else you guys would want us to do.
Yeah, because we're totally down.
Yeah, I want to see this show. I hope it has a longer season than 8 episodes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, has anyone-
Please.
8-episode
Jamie's
seasons.
checking.
Jamie, get on it.
Jamie, pull that up. 8-episode seasons sometimes irk me, especially when the episodes are on the shorter end. Because, like, this is not a show with consistent episode lengths either,
Yeah.
as we've seen.
Yeah, it went from
8
40
episodes.
to like
Oh,
8 episodes?
Oh,
Well,
dang.
on the bright side, 8-episode seasons usually have a tighter story arc, than longer seasons.
It will have 320 minutes of runtime, which is not quite short enough to qualify as a feature film, but still short enough to watch in a single long afternoon, were you so inclined. Thank
It
you.
has how many minutes?
40 minutes long, 8 episodes. James, what's 40 times 8?
No, I didn't. You said the
No,
total.
it says, and if all of them are 40. Come on, Jamie.
Jamie, seriously,
Jamie.
read closely. Because the last episode was 30 minutes.
Yeah, so
not-
we already know that's...
Oh, was it 30 minutes?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
shorter.
it was shorter.
like a good 10 minutes shorter. Because it's Disney Plus. Like, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
They own
it.
everything now.
They do.
Except
Yeah.
for Nickelodeon.
Horizontal
looking
integration.
At you,
Like,
Netflix.
They've
Horizontal
Oh.
integration.
Nice.
Allie's a business major.
They've had 2 very soft claps. I'm very happy because it's horrible editing those claps when we do
Yeah,
them.
because it just goes.
oh, yeah, me and Kasey are just like...
It
It
goes.
just the hand
We get to
touches.
slow
I very
motion
much
it.
appreciate it.
Very, very thankful.
Yeah, love that we're doing this instead of me screaming in the background.
We have enough of that in this episode. I really like the Mandalorian.
It's okay, Rose. It's okay.
I like the
We love
Mandalorian
you.
blacksmith. She's cool.
Yeah, she's
Oh,
dope.
yeah.
And she has like that
Lady Lorian.
that like almost Roman helmet, centurion helmet thing.
I know that none of you play this video game, but to the viewers that do, she's like a female version of Lord Shaxx from Destiny, with the giant like fur ring around her suit of armor, and like she's always wearing the helmet all the time. Yeah, wait, is that a thing with their culture that they always have to wear the helmet, or are we ever going to
Yeah.
see a Mandalorian
Yeah.
face?
Because if you really want to, yeah, it is. In the first episode, the guy's like, "Is it true that you never take off your helmet?"
Oh,
And he says nothing.
Yeah, so which is like yes. I think that's I don't think we're gonna see him without his helmet. But if you want to know what he looks like, just Google the actor. It's not like a secret.
well, maybe they would do it or pull a Darth Vader and put some makeup on him. You don't know.
Or he gets injured. Ooh.
Maybe.
He has a scar across his
Maybe he
face.
takes the helmet off and he's like
Kylo.
adult Yoda.
No.
He's a tall Yoda.
No, I think it's better if he's like 5 baby Yodas stacked on
Just
top of
stacked.
each
And
other.
that's why they
There's
were
like 2 of them occupying the helmet, so they can
we're
fill in the
busting at you,
space.
busting you
Or
out of here,
they
little
can
bro.
make him... Oh, yeah.
That's actually the twist. We've just predicted it. You've heard it here first.
Look, if if my older brother can predict that Baby Yoda was going to happen at all, we can predict 5 more.
5 more.
It's not out of the question.
I know. Is that how each season's gonna go? They just add another Baby Yoda.
Just an Easter egg.
The
He just
inciting,
has a little
the
children.
inciting incident for season 2 of The Mandalorian is he finds another Baby Yoda. It's like,
That'd be crazy.
it's like, I guess I have to do this again.
Just babysitting.
I wanted to appreciate the Chekhov's gun in the first 2 episodes that I was interested in. So I watched episode 1 twice.
Yeah.
And there's this shot when the Mandalorian is like hearing about the job to go find Baby Yoda, and he's like, ooh, deep pocket. This is big boy stuff. And then it cuts to this shot of these Trandoshans. They're like the reptile guys.
Okay.
That are like Bosk. It cuts to a shot of those guys, and they're like, ooh,
Yeah.
I'm listening. And
Were they the guys that beat him up in the cave?
yeah, and
way!
And then you don't hear anything more about them. That's it. You just get a shot of them like looking interested. And then the first scene of the second episode is the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda getting attacked by the 3 Trandoshans. And I was like, hey, they didn't forget. I thought that was really neat. I was kind of hoping the Trandoshans would come around and be like the antagonists, because that would have been a good way to set up an antagonist. But like the fact that they acknowledged them at all is cool. You know, like,
Yeah.
really good job,
I
writers.
really want to see them bring Boskin and Dengar in, and all of like
And IG-88.
IG-88, like all of the old Star Wars bounty hunters that they just like scrounged together to fill out a cast for Boba Fett to run around with. I want them to come back.
Yeah, they were cool. I also, what was I gonna say?
Darth Maul.
The disintegration gun is really cool.
That's
Yes.
weird.
I've never seen anything like it in a Star Wars thing.
But it doesn't take their clothes, which
No, it just poofs them.
it just like eats biomatter.
Snaps them.
I don't know what it does.
It
Maybe
snaps
it like sends them. It puts them in the Soul Stone. I mean, it shoots orange like cargo like cartridge things.
This is actually the secret setup for the next Avengers movie.
They're gonna do a collab. It's all
my
happening.
Yeah, that'd be nuts.
That'd be terrifying.
I kind of wish. One of my only, I guess, wishes with the show is I want to see the Mandalorian get a little more MacGyver-y. Because, like, that was the cool thing with Boba Fett.
Such a 70-year-old man.
That was the cool thing with Boba Fett. He had, like, all these gadgets. He had Boba Fett had a disintegration gun. Because remember when
Did he?
they're like, no disintegrations in episode 5 or something?
No, I don't remember.
There's like,
that.
Casey
Yeah,
remembers.
I'm not that big of a
There's
nerd.
like
I
one
got you.
soft high five. There was like one part where they're like giving them the order, the bounty hunters the order, and they're like, he like points at Boba Fett, or maybe Boba Fett says it, but they're like, no disintegrations. It's like, oh, cool. So that's just like a Mandalorian thing.
Wow, Jon Favreau did his research for this series.
Dave
Shout
Filoni.
out Happy.
Jon Favreau.
Dave Filoni.
Jon Favreau. You want to fight me? Jon
Favreau
makes-
and Dave Filoni did their research.
Jon Favreau did them. Yep.
Written by is Dave Filoni was the first credit.
No,
in
I
the
thought
show.
Jon Favreau also
Yeah,
wrote
he
the
wrote
episodes.
it as well.
Oh wait, is it like Stranger Things where they have different people writing each episode?
No,
I-
Jon Favreau's like the like the production lead on a lot of it, and he's calling a lot of shots. I don't know who Dave Filoni is, so maybe he's.
I know Filoni's involved.
Wasn't he like an executive producer or something?
He was, I think, the director/producer of Clone Wars, or maybe writer.
Well, in relation to this show.
Oh,
what was he?
Jamie.
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 Yeah,
get on
but
that.
the only reason I emphasize Jon Favreau so much is because this is sort of his project. Like he's not directing every episode, but it's like a David Benioff and D.B. Weiss for Game of Thrones, where he's essentially the showrunner-ish, I guess you could say. Like he's the guy that's like, you go to Favreau if you want to get something done, you know? Like
It's executive produced by Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni.
okay,
So
so they're like a duo in this.
That's cool. It's like
I could totally
the
dig
Duffer brothers, but the FF brothers, the F
Yeah.
F word brothers.
I think on that note, that's a good place to leave the episode off of, unless someone has good final thoughts.
Do we speak now? My final thought is, I'm excited for 6 more episodes of the Mandalorian show.
Very good.
Available now on Disney Plus Friday nights, Friday days. I don't know. When do they air?
I think
How
it
does
might
stuff
just
like
be
this
Friday.
work? Well, I know it's Fridays, but like, what
I
time
think
do
it's
they?
just like 12.
I know Netflix has spoiled us, and now we don't know how shows work.
Yeah,
I don't-
we
it's been a
don't.
long time.
Release dates.
What are those?
Yeah, that's it. This was kind of a more laid back episode. There was kind of a gap between we kind of got thrown off a little bit in October because we recorded episodes out of order, and then
lots of things were happening.
It was a spooky month.
Very
we're
busy.
sorry if we don't upload on a regular schedule. We are all AP students, and we all have a lot of work to do. So while we love doing the podcast and we love interacting with you guys, this is something that we put after all of our tests and studying and things like that.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get the four of us together on a reliable basis. So we're trying our best. We're still doing the podcast. Don't think we've quit or stopped uploading until we tell you. Even if it's a 2-month hiatus, we're probably working on something.
Yeah,
Big,
AP
big
tests or
something.
something.
Yeah. We do have a bunch of videos that aren't podcasts in the works. I know that I have a script for a video essay written and a podcast video essay hybrid
Yeah.
sort of deal. I don't even know what to call it anymore. And then James is working on a video essay.
Yeah, I'm aiming to have it around Christmas time.
So if you're a fan of that, then it's coming out. Don't worry, we're working on it. Again, be patient with us.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we're very busy. We love y'all though.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for watching. Go check us out on Anchor and Spotify and Apple
Podcasts. Or
I was
whatever.
about to say music. I was like, we're not music.
YouTube. Should we go on SoundCloud? Does anyone use SoundCloud?
Yeah, well, we're on SoundCloud, aren't we?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Just Google us.
Yeah, just Google us.
You'll
and
find
you'll-
us.
Find us.
Yeah, leave a like, comment, subscribe.
Tell us what you want to see.
Yeah, tell us what you want to see. Tell us what we can change about the podcast. And thank you guys.
Tell us what you want to see. Shout out to A and B.
Shout out to A and B.
Viewers like you.
Bars.
What a legend. He's viewer number 1. If you want to take his spot, I will allow a blood sport competition to occur where
Or
everyone's fighting to be our favorite.
Just make us something. And
Yeah.
we'll be flattered. Yeah,
Fan art. We will take
Fan
art?
Fan art.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
draw what you think we look like.
Yes.
Hint: Charlie's ugly.
Oh.
With
And on that note,
we have been the Socratic Cinema
Cinema
Podcast.
Podcast.
Adios. That was a